This is the Greg Bedard Patriots Podcast with Nick Cattles.
All right, let's look at running back, Greg. How many do you think they carry?
So let's say, all right, we're not going to include fullbacks here.
Okay.
Just in terms of running back position, I think they keep, it's going to be between 3 and 4. I think it's going to be 3. And I think they'll have more options on the practice squad because, you know, we sort of see around the league how they view the running back position as far as like depth. You know, you think you can, you know, find guys and, you know, having options on the practice squad in case there are injuries, promotions, and all that. I think they're going to keep 3 with options on the practice squad. What do you think?
Yeah, 3 feels right to me. I don't know if you need a 4th running back. You know, it seems to me that it's a little bit of a stretch to have 4 guys on the roster. I don't think you need that 4th roster spot. I mean, you've got some other areas like offensive line that you have to address. How many wide receivers are you going to carry? Linebackers, another question. Safety, you know, you got a number of safeties on this roster. You might want to carry an extra one that you didn't think you wanted to carry before, you know, camp began. So I think 3 is a safe number. Obviously, Stevenson and Henderson's absolutely safe. Stevenson feels very safe. Antonio Gibson, how big of a battle does he have on his hands to stay on this roster, do you think?
I think pretty big. And, you know, I think the world of Antonio Gibson. I thought he was great at times last year. I thought he was very good. Certainly we talked about it that, you know, for a while there, it was like he was outplaying Ramondre Stevenson, especially in that, you know, outside zone scheme. It was much more comfortable for him, but he can do everything at the running back position. You know, he can be a receiving back. He can be a lead back. I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty valuable. And I think he's done a great job. But, you know, I think in terms of this roster in general, I think you have to look at the guys that you have to project them out. Are these guys going to be here in 2 to 3 years and be part of the core? If not, then their immediate future is, you know, in danger with this team. And it's nothing against Antonio Gibson, but I do think he's in that bucket where you're like, all right, well, we have Travion Henderson, and he is certainly going to have a role on this team going forward. I think it's going to be an immediate role on this team, depending on health. But this is not a situation. I'm sure some people look at it and, you know, look at, you know, Shane Vereen or James White, and these are guys that had to basically redshirt a year before they got in there. Of course, there was a pipeline at the time of guys that the Patriots had. They don't have a pipeline because they didn't fill the passing back role the past couple of years.
Right.
So to me, Gibson's future is tied to how much they think Henderson can do immediately. And I think it's a lot. I mean, Nick, there was this one play in one of the minicamp practices where he was lined up to Drake May's left. And we've heard about his pass blocking, and we've seen the highlight clips from Ohio State and how good he is. And he's really good. But he went from Drake May's left, and after the snap, crossed over in front of Drake May and snuffed out a slot blitz from Marcus Jones and was in perfect position. I mean, you don't really see that out of rookies. That really impressed me. So I think when you're talking about Antonio Gibson's future, you know, how quickly and how many things can Henderson do? I think it's going to be a lot. And then the X factor is Lan Larison, the undrafted free agent. You know, he's sort of Rex Burkhead light. Once the pads come on, can he hold his own blocking? He's very versatile, pretty good at receiving, catches the ball naturally. So if Henderson and Larison both look really good and that they're ready to play, then I think you look at Antonio Gibson as, you know, they'll probably try to trade him, and they might find some interest because he is a veteran. He's a plug and play back in a lot of schemes. Or, you know, he could be released at the final cutdown. I mean, again, I really like Gibson. It's nothing against him. It's more of where is this team right now? Where is it going? And is a veteran like Gibson really part of things? Do they feel they're going to have to answer the question? Do they feel good about if Stevenson goes down with an injury, which can happen? Do they feel all right about Henderson being the lead back? If they don't think he's ready for that, then maybe Gibson hangs on, and Larison, maybe they look to stash him on the practice squad, that type of thing.
Yeah, Gibson's third down issues and pass protection that we saw at times last year, I think leads him to be more of a first and second down guy. And then you kind of question, all right, how many opportunities is he going to get in that role? How much will you play Henderson on first and second down? Because you talked about his pass protection, Greg, but the other element to Henderson is his explosivity. And that's something that he can bring to the table that this offense just hasn't had. It's a major reason why you spent the pick on him and you spent the pick on Kyle Williams, is this idea of they should have theoretically a different level of explosiveness and give you that element that's been missing critically from this offense over the past couple of years. So I did a whole podcast on Henderson yesterday, Everything Pats, if you want to check it out on YouTube. I don't think it's crazy to believe that at some point Henderson becomes the lead back this year. At some point, I don't want to give you a week. That'd be silly. But it's just because of that explosiveness, and it's just because of his ability as a receiver, his pass protection. He could be the whole package. And I just, if Josh McDaniels is standing there and you're practicing with this guy throughout the week and you just see the different level that he has, I just don't think Josh is going to be able to stay away from him for too long. I think the shiny toy is going to have to be used. And he's going to, you know what? We got to put this guy out there because he could take a screen pass 80 yards to the house. And we don't know if we have anybody else on this football team that can do that. So he's got to play, and we trust him in pass protection.